In this series, I'm playing a season in every FIFA game from FIFA 14 all the way to FIFA 23, and today we're playing FIFA 20. I posted a poll asking which club we should manage, and if we ignore Dortmund, who we used last year, Milan was the clear winner. And that's good news because it's probably the most fun save here. Compared to last year's young and exciting Dortmund side, the AC Milan side is full of experience. We've still got a few months of FIFA 20 servers being online as well, so we can actually download the latest version of this team. This means we have 85 rated Ibrahimovic, 92 potential Donnarumma, and a fairly big budget to spend. While the squad is old, we do have a ton of potential too. We'll be developing Donnarumma as much as we can. Our goal is to get him to at least 92 overall by the end of this season. We'll also try and break a record, and we're going to be ambitious again because we have such a good goalkeeper. We're going to aim for the most clean sheets in one season. Tons of players have made it to 21, but no one has ever got 22 clean sheets. Before we can go for that though, I'll need to play in pre-season to see if it's even possible.
Here we are, today at Old Trafford. I'm Martin Tyler, with me is Alan Smith, trying to steer it through. And there it is, the goal!
FIFA 19 was a fun game, and from my first few matches it does seem like FIFA 20 was actually a big downgrade. Players are more clunky, passing is painfully slow now, and it seems like skill moves is probably the only way to quickly move around the field, just like it was on FIFA 18. Anyway, back to career mode. Tactics were a really big deal in this year's game. I spent all 3 games in pre-season trying to find out what worked best for our squad, even trying out last year's 3-4-3 formation, but I couldn't really get anything to work. Maybe some new signings will help us out instead. As always, I'll try and limit myself to the signings the club will actually make in the near future, and this summer we have 3 good signings coming in. Customizing the manager was also a big deal back on FIFA 20, so this is the clown that will be representing us this season. Fikayo Tomori uses quite a bit of our transfer budget. In real life he joined AC Milan a year later, but having some pace will definitely strengthen our defence. Because we're going for a defensive-based record, let's also add Sandro Tonali and Diogo Dalot. I really remember I liked how Dalot felt on FIFA 20, so I hope that is still the case. Anyway, it's time for Serie A to begin, and it's a big game against Udinese first up. Because going for a defensive record is actually quite boring probably for you to watch, we'll also be trying to beat the record of the most goals scored from outside the box in a season. FIFA icon Roberto Baggio holds the record with 9, but we have Ibrahimovic and Çalhanoğlu, who both have a really good chance to beat that this season. Anyway, this 3 points was a great way to start the 2019-20 season. Milan, of course, went on to win the Serie A in 2021 in real life, but I think we have a serious chance of winning it here in 2020. Let's just hope there's no big distractions that'll stop the league or anything coming up in the next couple of months. The next day after I decided to load up FIFA 20, I realised my save had actually gone missing. I resimulated the first 2 months as best as I could, but if you notice any transfers or player overalls or anything like that changing, then most likely it's because of me having to resimulate these 2 months. Anyway, next up was one of our 12 or so clubs we consider rivals in this league, a game against Brescia, and we had Tonali, of course, who we bought off them. They had Mario Balotelli, who used to play for us up front, but we also had the battle of the 2 Donnarummas. Theirs was a striker, I don't think they're related, and he would get the best of ours. That was a clean sheet off the table already. After just a couple of games, we decided that maybe this long shot record is not going to get broken, so we probably shouldn't actually be trying them. So we went for more passing it into the box and just trying to score easy chances. But even then, the AI was on top of us. We couldn't get anything. Even Ibrahimovic, he hadn't scored a league goal yet, but Rafael Leao would secure the win with a nice tap-in into an open goal. Because this game happened on the last day of the transfer window, it's also a good time to have a look at some of the deranged transfers that the AI would make. I don't actually think the AI has got any better in this department over the past couple of years. It's something that I really hope EA Sports FC does fix and makes the AI actually make transfers that make some sense. Anyway, back into our games. Next up was a game against Verona, and you can see we're already in the 89th minute because that was really the only action that happened, and I wanted to skip forward so we could get into this massive match first. AC against Internazionale, our first proper big rivalry match, our first game against one of the really big teams in Italy as well, and I think we were probably going to find out in this match if we really could go for the title or if we were going to just settle for something like 4th place in the league. Ibrahimovic, of course, has a point to prove. He's a former Inter Milan striker, but it just seemed like we were getting a bit unlucky with the bounces. Even when it fell to Ibrahimovic, it would then fall away. His first touch wasn't good enough, and unfortunately for Paqueta, his first touch of the match was getting kneed in the head, which gave away a penalty, and Lukaku would score. I think we were really unlucky with that goal. But you'll see throughout this video that that's a theme of playing FIFA 20. You will just get unlucky. Inter Milan had 2 shots in that first half, the one that won them the penalty and the penalty itself. They would have another one early into the second half though. That's a much better goal. I don't mind conceding ones like that. That was just poor defending from me and a good finish from Alexis Sanchez. You can see here how hard it is to win the ball off the AI at times. Even though we'd injured a player, we were kind of taking advantage of that. Paqueta, Tonali linking up. Tonali really should have been shooting there, but a good tackle from the Inter Milan defence. Annoyingly, because we had to reset our save, we lost our formation and our tactics, so all of a sudden Kessié was our most attacking midfielder in this match. It took us about an hour to notice, so when we made some changes, we also brought on Rafael Leao. Ibrahimovic really isn't playing very well for us so far this season, but honestly neither is Leao. And when we talk about unlucky goals, this is the kind of thing I mean. Donnarumma just getting the ball booted out of his hands, and of course it would fall straight to Lukaku, who does a trademark Lukaku somersault. This was our last chance of the game from a corner. It could have gone in, but Handanovic ended the game with about 12 saves. Meanwhile, Donnarumma made actually 0. But in the other games, he's actually been pretty good. After 8 matches, he's got 6 clean sheets, so we're well on the way to getting the record. The problem is, we just can't score. We were heading to the capital of Italy, of course Rome, to play against Roma, and yet again, it was someone like Jordan Veretout, who has really low finishing, scoring an absolute banger with their first goal of the game. Ibrahimovic nearly scored a classic Ibrahimovic there, an overhead kick from the corner. It would have been sick if it had gone in, but unfortunately for us, we couldn't quite do it. That's the kind of finishing we were doing though. It wasn't even going out for a goal kick, it was going out for throw-ins. I can't get my head around how shooting worked on this game at all. If you've watched the FIFA 14 episode of the series, you'll remember how good Ibrahimovic was at heading back then, and nearly 10 years later, he's still got it, scoring as an equaliser against Roma. You can see the halftime stats again, one shot on target, and 1 goal from Roma. But look at this pass from Tonali, Paqueta one-on-one, and what is that finish? We've pressed finesse, we've aimed for the corner, and it's ended up going about 10 metres wide. Donnarumma keeps us in it, keeps us equal at 1-1, and there was one last chance for Roma, but thankfully for us, Romagnoli was more than capable of stopping it. So that was a tie, and honestly getting a bit better. We of course lost 3-0 in our first big game, 1-1 in our second big game, and I did notice something pretty funny in the press conference. We told them that we won, so hopefully we've kind of gaslighted ourselves into getting 3 points. Our next big match of the season was in January against fake Juventus Piemonte Calcio. We got off to a really good start here, Paqueta breaking into the box, and we won a penalty. With a really old Buffon in goal, you'd think if you went top corner, you'd basically be guaranteed to score, but Ibrahimovic found out that that isn't the case. Ronaldo would go down the wing, and Dybala's shot would be saved, but it would unfortunately just loop back into that near post, and we'd be 1-0 down and already have lost a clean sheet. Ronaldo would get the ball again out wide, and he would just smash it so hard Donnarumma could only save it into the goal, and that was of course their first 2 shots of the game. We'd get a chance here, but Tonali would waste it with a really bad first touch, and that would be half time. You can see right there how annoying of a match this must have been. We had to make sure we were going to score, so we pulled one back. Even Ibrahimovic can't miss that one. We'd get another chance, this time for an equaliser. Kyle Walker taking down Teo Hernandez. Kessié would run up. We decided to switch sides, running up just in case that would help us score, but again Buffon was ahead of it. Donnarumma was caught in absolutely no man's land there. Ronaldo would tap it into an open goal. And then this is how the game would end. Ronaldo flicking it on to Khedira, an unstoppable near post volley, and we were 4-1 down. Don't get me wrong, I'm not being negative on the game because I've just lost 4-1, but it is really the worst FIFA game I have ever played. Passing doesn't work. Players can only move very fast when they do skill moves, and while I do like using skill moves, you can see me using some right here to try and beat the men, it's not really that fun to do it constantly, and the AI is just so overpowered, and it seems like there's a lot of scripting going on in career mode. It just makes a really not very fun sort of experience playing this game. If you do have FIFA 20, check it out and see if you agree with me, but if you don't already have it, definitely don't go and buy this game because it's absolutely terrible. Anyway, against Parma, we go 1-0 up. A nice finish there from Ibrahimovic. Could this finally be a time for us to win another game? Well, again, a really bizarre finish right there. The perfect shot exactly in the top corner, and Parma have equalised. It seems like the AI actively doesn't want you to have fun. When you're doing a counter-attack, you will just get hacked down like that from Gervinho. And when you're through on goal, even with one of the best strikers of all time in Ibrahimovic, a 60-something rated goalkeeper will stop it almost every single time. Despite all my complaining about how bad this game is, we do actually have a really exciting last day. This is the table, and if we score 2 more goals than Inter Milan on this last game, even if we both win, we will finish second place. We also have our goalkeeper Antonio Donnarumma, who's now 90 rated. He needs 1 more clean sheet to get that record. So basically, we need to score a lot of goals and keep a clean sheet. So this is going to be an exciting final day of the season. We had a decent chance there, but we had the better chance just 20 minutes in. Ibrahimovic scoring against an open net. We were still trying to score long-range goals, but we just couldn't really pull them off on this year's game. We weren't good at finishing from inside the box either, don't get me wrong, but Bonaventura would be our best long-range shooter of the year. He scored 3 from outside the box, so nowhere near that other record we were potentially looking at. This was a bit of a suspicious decision right here. I don't know how we won a penalty, and even worse, it was a red card. The strategy for the penalty was if we don't know where it's going, then the AI can't dive the right way, and we were thankfully very right, 2-0 up. We didn't know what the score was in the Inter Milan game until it popped up right here, 4-1. So this wasn't good. That means we need to get a 5-0 win, and we only have about 10 minutes of in-game time left. This was a great chance to get one of them though. Leao 1-on-1. Again, he can't finish. It fell to Rebic. AI did like 10 blocks of different shots and eventually it would roll out to Olsen. We did a few more long range shots, Tonali there, we got a corner, Kessié would head it in, but we still needed 2 goals in 5 minutes. Could we do it? Well, Kessié would have another chance here, he'd find Rebic, he couldn't get the shot away, that could have set up a really good finish. Our final chance of the season was right here, Rebic trying to get it through to Bonaventura, and the referee would blow their whistle. Unless there was a massive comeback in that Inter Milan game, we were going to finish second in the table. We skipped the interview and we confirmed that Atalanta had lost 4-1. What a season that was from Juventus, by the way. They ended up losing just 1 game, drawing 2 and winning 35 of their 38 games. Very soon I'll be putting a poll up on the community page asking for team suggestions for FIFA 21, where I know the game is a lot more fun. So make sure you think about those and let me know who you want me to use by commenting them below. But thank you for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss FIFA 21, 22, 23 and potentially also EA Sports FC coming out very soon. But thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Cheers and goodbye.